Hi there folks, well welcome back to my channel. For this video I've actually come back through to a slightly soggy North Lanarkshire, and where I've actually stopped off at is called Wilsontown, and there is actually a bit of the village or the town that used to be an old industrial village, and a lot of it has now kind of ruined, or it's kind of been overgrown. There's not much of it to be seen from the grounds. Is now in the care of is it the Forestry Commission Scotland, or is it Forestry and Land Scotland? Yeah, I think it used to be Forestry Commission Scotland. I think it's now Forestry and Land Scotland. I think they'd bought the lands a few decades back, and they started to tear down a lot of the old buildings. And then they realised how significant the site actually was, and were like, whoops, and yeah, preserved what was kind of left on the site. So I think I might have to try and put a waterproof on, because I thought this shower was going to pass, but obviously it's not. And I'll head out and have a little wander around and show you what you can actually see here at Wilsontown. And there is a wee spot, it is a bit of a small car park, so you can come in, park up and go for a wander around. And again, there is a website for it, so I will leave that in the description bar below and in a pinned comment in the comment section. And again, if you enjoy my channel, if you enjoy my videos, if you can click on the subscribe button, click on that notification bell, leave some likes, leave some comments, it's always really appreciated. And if you'd like to support the channel further, you can follow me on TikTok and Blue Sky. And you can also click on the join button and become a channel member. So with that out the road, I'm going to grab my things and go out for a wander. Yeah, so this is where I am. Yeah, it's the site of the first ironworks in Lanarkshire, 1779 to 1842. Yeah, I didn't know that. I definitely didn't know that. So, I'll have a bit closer look at the map. So, that's where I am just now. So, I'll go up through the entrance, which is just there, and take me up to the viewpoint for the actual ironworks, and go for a little wander around the path itself, or the trails. Yeah, so my first impression of what the ironworks have been like. And there is 3 trails through the site, for the first 2, and there's also the Glen Trail. Yeah, so the Glen Trail is that one there. Yes, I've come up from the car park. And I do like these wee welcome signs they have for when you're going into the paths and the trails. Quite subtle, but I like them. Yeah, this is what I stopped at when I was walking up. It's almost like one of those got old way markers, and it says on it, William Wilson had a double-barrelled shotgun and called me buffoon, villain and rascal. That's apparently a quote from an Alexander gun. It's curious, I wonder what that's about. Yeah, I'm glad I went back and got my wee waterproof jacket, because I think this rain's always going to be on and off for the rest of the afternoon. It's going to be quite showery. I thought it was going to be dry today, but no such luck. So I think my hood's going to be going up and down for the third time I'm going to be here. So, but again, I'm out, I'm going for a walk, out in the fresh air. So that's certainly to be enjoyed. So I suspect that the viewpoint is just over in that direction. I can just see what looks like a wee seating area over there. So I think that's the way I'm supposed to be heading. So the old industrial area, the old furnace or ironworks must be in that area down there. So I'll keep walking along and show you what I can find. Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of the earthworks and lumps and bumps from the actual industrialisation of the area. I think there is one of the ruined buildings just over there. So I don't know if that might be the inn. Because I know there's supposed to be an inn and the remains of an inn on the site. But just goes to show that even with mass industrialisation, it does all get reclaimed after a while. Now, what's that quote from Jurassic Park? Life finds a way. So, yeah, head along this way. Yeah, it's quite a good information board, this one. Yeah, so the houses were actually being lived in right into the 1930s. Right, so this is the area that I've got in front of me. So that's the area that I was looking at over there. That's actually furnace 1 and 2 over there. You've got the wee stream down there. And I was right, there's that ruined building just up there. That's the old inn. And you can just see, there's like lumps and bumps just on top of that raised bit of ground. That's where some of the houses would have been. And looking at this illustration, yes, I'm guessing that's where furnace 1 and 2 are. That should be that area over there. All this area in here would have been down there in that kind of dip over where the river is. So a lot of it probably would have been converted at one point, and there'd have been even more houses up in that direction. So it would have been so noisy and packed and smoky in here because it's all just been jammed into one small area. It is a shame that, so even though back then it'd been probably one hell of an eyesore, like with all smoke and the noise, but it's just a shame that so many of the buildings, you can't see them now. And there's a entrance down there as well. So I'm guessing if they're coming in from the actual village of Wilsontown now, like the present day village, he's coming in through that gate. Quite a nice set of wrought iron gates, those. And one of these way markers. This one says, aye, it's awfully quiet in the bit wasn't it always, so like this. So it's essentially saying, aye, it's awful quiet now, but it wasn't always like this. Yeah, so the paths are marked, colour coded. As we have a section of the site, which when you kind of going across that wee valley. I do like the wee plaque they've got on it. So the house of the Wilsons must have been up round the back of Quality Row, which is Quality Row would have been in that area there. Yeah, I do like the fact they do have a lot of these information boards throughout the site. And it really does give you an idea of what was going on this location. And they're saying that, yeah, back in the 19th century, the early 19th century, they actually thought that cold air improved the steel. But they actually, here at this site, they realised that it was warm air or hot air improved the steel through a leaking tank. And the engineer who actually came in to fix the tank realised what was going on and decided to actually patent the hot air nozzle for steelworks. Yeah, so gives you an idea of what the plan of some of these buildings was. Yeah, so they do say that it's trying to stick to the paths because there's a lot of ruined buildings. And it's just going to Summerlee, which I thought suggest as well. I'll try to see if I can link in a video for that as well. I think you can go down this way a wee bit. Don't want to go too far. But does at least give you an idea of the scale. I can just imagine what it would have been like when the buildings were actually all standing. Yeah, I do like the fact that there are quite a few walkers out enjoying the site. I guess they must be all from the surrounding area. There's like folks out with their dogs, folks out just for a stroll. But a site like this, definitely worth coming and visiting, especially if you are interested in Scotland's industrial heritage and history. Somewhere where you can learn something you might not get elsewhere, and you get to go for a lovely walk in a Forestry and Land Commission area. And even though you can still hear the traffic from the roads, it's still quite a calm and peaceful spot, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm guessing that'd be the ruins of the old inn, which would have acted as a pub and accommodation for like the village and for people visiting, I'm guessing. Yeah, I was right. This is the remains of the old inn. Unfortunately, the ruins themselves are not owned by Forestry Scotland. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to go in or not, but I'll have a closer look, that's for sure. Or as close a look as I can get. Yeah, the gate doesn't appear to be locked. No, it's not. I can just squeeze in. Make sure I close the gate behind me. And also that's been the front door into the main building itself. Let's have a little wander around. Wonder if that might have been a buyer or something. Yeah, even though I can wander around, I don't think I'm going to be getting into any of the buildings. Yeah, I think that might have been a buyer in there. Yeah, so a buyer's a Scots word for a cow shed. So you keep your livestock. Let's see what's round this side. I think it's just quite overgrown. Yeah, Yeah, well, a coal store or something. So I'm going to head back along this way. Yeah, so you may have picked up from some of the information boards that the reason why this is called Wilsontown is because it was the Wilson family who owns the furnace, and therefore who owned all the houses the workers lived in. I think that's the big house, as I think I mentioned before in the video, the big house would be over in that direction somewhere. So they'd probably been able to look out from their house over to where the furnace was and sort of keep an eye on the workers from a bit of a distance. So I know there's another information board just over there. I'm going to try and get over there and see what that one says. Maybe that's where the house once stood. Yeah, I think that just highlights how hard and difficult the work has been for those who are actually working here at the Iron Works. I think they actually did have to mine iron out from nearby. Yeah, somebody's out going for a hack on their horse. Quite nice to see. Yeah, so information here is obviously about them digging up the iron. So it is coal and iron mines. I've got it zoomed in there. And yeah, so if you ever come to Scotland and you see place names is spelt Muir, that's the Scots word for moor. So a lot of the mining out here was open cast, or open cast. You also use bell pits, which does remind me of the oubliette prisons. You can imagine having to haul all the coal and the iron out in your back in baskets. So all this landscape here would have just been getting dug up in order to get to the iron and the coal. Yeah, I have no idea whereabouts Wilsontown House would have been. I was sure that it should have been up around here somewhere, but can't see any other signs for it other than the one that's talking about the mines. But I know the path I'm on just now, if I keep going in that direction, it will loop me back round down to where the old inn is, and I'll kind of bring it back round where I'd came up for this path. So I'm going to head back the way I came and find my way back to the car park. But so yeah, I think it's on the way back to the car, probably try and see if I can find a way down to the Glen paths and have a little nosy down there if I can. Yeah, I think the path to the Glen is just here, but the waymark post does look like a path. That way just takes you back down to the road. Yeah, this looks like the right way. Well, I was wrong about the location of the big house. So, the big house or the mansion house for those who owned the Iron Works, that's what it looked like. Quite Georgian on the outside. There's information about it. And there is only a small bit of it actually remaining, which I think I've just walked past. So we'll walk back to it. Yeah, so that's it there. So the rest of the house must have continued on in that direction there, and then the way I've just come. a bit of a shame that for such a massive house, that's all that was left. Hate when that happens. Yeah, well, let's be back at the car and try to film it in such a way that you can actually see me. So let's be back at the car anyway. And I think I must have been here for at least a couple of hours, just having a right good explore, a good wander around. Yeah, and it's just, even though the weather was a bit touch and go at one point, it's actually turned out not too badly now. So yeah, definitely a nice place to come spend some time, learn a wee bit about local history, have a good walk and a good explore, and see some archaeology as well. So it's a bit of a shame that a lot of the buildings were torn down and not much of it's left now. But you can still see bits and pieces here and there. So hopefully you will have enjoyed this video, hopefully you'll find it interesting. And if you are out in this neck of the woods, definitely come along to Wilsontown and have a good wee explore and just spend some time being outside. So again, hopefully you'll have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.